Work on the architectural and urban planning solution is still very much ongoing. We're still actively dealing with this particular issue. Yes, it's not going anywhere anytime soon, but nevertheless, it certainly doesn't prevent us from carrying out other important types of work. Yes, it does hold us back from getting the completion certificate for construction and the permit for commissioning, and all the planned tasks that we have on our way to achieving our goal, the tasks that we must complete. Yes, it certainly holds us back. But nevertheless, we are diligently doing what we absolutely have to do. The second crucial point is what's currently happening here at the site, the comprehensive commissioning and precise adjustment of the essential cooling system. You could say it's basically a big split system that provides cool air when it's hot and heat when it's chilly. Just like the split systems in apartments, only bigger. This is probably one of the most complex engineering systems. These are our facilities, specifically the engineering systems. It runs throughout the entire building. There are fan coils in every room. Here we have one fan coil, and in some places there are 2 fan coils installed. In the workshop, there are large fan coils hanging. Because when the machines are running in the workshops, they generate a lot of heat, so it's hard to work without them. But now, when you walk into the workshop, it's already cool. Now, regarding what Alexander previously mentioned in the video has already been released. It's specifically about the extensive reconstruction, a particular kind of reconstruction, of the engines. So, look, we are now putting the facility into operation. The facility has been built according to the project. And in our facility, there are a lot of electric rotating machines, that is, synchronous motors. There are a number of motors that drive fans, pumps, fire extinguishing systems. Those don't concern us. Why? Because they practically never run. Well, someone will come, check them, poke around a couple of times. That's it. Otherwise, they just sit in standby mode, and nothing depends on their efficiency. There's also a smoke removal system. Basically, everything related to what's called the fire safety system. But there are indeed fans that provide essential air exchange in the room. They actively supply fresh, clean air and efficiently remove stale air from the entire workspace. These ventilation fans run for extended periods and consequently consume quite a significant amount of electricity. As soon as the warranty period ends, the suppliers will have done their job, so we know we have no claims against the suppliers or the contractors. We will systematically replace the standard windings in these motors with our combined windings. This doesn't mean we'll be buying new motors. No, we'll only be replacing the windings. Why is this necessary? The thing is, experience has shown that by replacing the windings with combined ones, the cost of this work pays off in a maximum of 3 months of equipment operation at most. And after that, it starts generating direct savings, allowing us to save money, because what we're interested in is the economic result of the company's operations, in other words, profit. And anything that reduces that profit, we need to cut those expense items. How do we do that? First of all, by implementing energy-efficient measures. One of these is replacing the windings in the most heavily loaded machines. Because if it's a bench grinder that you walk up to, turn on, sharpen something, and it only runs for 20 minutes during your shift, for example, then there's really no point in reconstructing the motor windings. So we'll only modernize and replace the windings in those machines where it actually makes sense.
It's terrible. Month after month, there are promises with different excuses. We've also run out of patience regarding the project that's been dragging on for almost 10 years now. Will we really have to wait another 10 years just to get the license? If they never get the license, all the equipment that's already been bought will become obsolete, and we'll have to buy new stuff again and keep raising funds.
Das ist fantastisch. First of all, the facility was built in just over 2 years. We've been waiting for the finalization for 10 months, and there's no way to sugarcoat it. The fault isn't ours. This is a widespread problem in Moscow. God forbid it spreads across the whole country. That would be a colossal blow to the economy. The way the projects were approved, there took several years. What, 2 years, I think? Yes, all those approvals took that long, and that wasn't our whim either. The equipment won't become outdated, because regardless of whatever is happening up there among the officials in their high offices, we're working on development, preparation, and launching production. The very last thing we showed and clearly demonstrated were engines based on the robust plate that's typically used in an angle grinder. Indeed, sample engines were successfully made using these very same plates. At least 48 modifications have been made because, for example, an engine, just a basic engine, a built-in engine with a thermal sensor, with an encoder, with both an encoder and a thermal sensor. So the same engine can have 3 versions, 3 modifications. It can be equipped with connectors. Well, that's just one type of modification. But at the same time, in one case, when it doesn't have a sensor, it's simply used as an engine. With an incremental encoder, it can serve as a drive engine. On top of that, each of these engines can be made for a frequency from 50 to 600 hertz. For example, at 200 hertz, at 400 hertz, 400 hertz is for aviation and other uses in various fields of activity. It's a whole range, from the 30th stack, 30 millimeters long, up to 70 in 5 millimeter increments. It's a whole range of engines to meet various needs and requirements in the production of goods, from tools and small machines to household appliances. Moreover, these engines are competitive even in China, because in China, with steel like 24 to 12, you can't run above 50 hertz on standard designs. But with our design, the same steel, thanks to a more even distribution of induction, allows operation up to 600 hertz. There's your answer.
Dmitry Alexandrovich, if the 3D gets dragged out until year-end, or even next year, or to 2027, are we just going to keep complaining and do nothing? Back in January, I thought it was unthinkable this could drag on until August.
And why do you think we're not doing anything? It's naive to think that we're just sitting around waiting for something. Colleagues, you can't even imagine the whole process. Naturally, I'm not going to describe it, to talk about what happened, what steps were taken, what measures. Naturally, I would never talk about that particular subject because it's not something truly worth discussing or even talking about. What we should be discussing and focusing on are the actual results. If we were just sitting around, this facility wouldn't exist because there's a saying, the one who shoots well is the one who actually shoots. So, in order to build something, you need to have the knowledge and experience of construction, and you need to take part in the building process. And if we talk about regarding the documents that have to be meticulously processed and the inherent difficulties that inevitably arise, I already mentioned that you only encountered a single document because it's currently at a certain stage, specifically the final stage of its development. But as for those that were part of the project as it was developing, the processes that took place there, and how much things were delayed. Registering the property rights for the unfinished construction took a year, but no one saw or knew about it. We just reported that yes, we registered ownership of this object. Registering the completed construction, I believe, will be easier, and it will be at that stage. At a certain specific stage of this overall process, that particular task will absolutely need to be fully completed, but that is already the second, subsequent step, which I sincerely hope will ultimately take considerably less time.